It's Thursday, everybody. My name is Dean.
Yeah, my name is Tyler, and I gotta say, it's weird to be here on a Thursday, but we got some patch notes for you.
Yep, like we said, Memorial Day holiday here in the U.S.
Yeah.
They push it one day. So patch 13.11 is here. Not as crazy as 13.10. 13.10, again, it was like a preseason size patch. This is a little more fine-tuning. Probably the biggest thing coming out is definitely the rel mid-scope. And then, see, what's even funnier is if you're looking at just the preview thing, it has Ivern just under buffs.
Yeah.
But then rel is adjusted.
I know,
So,
they had the nerve to call it an Ivern mid-scope, and then it's just some buffs.
some buffs. But, so yeah, we got a few nerfs, we got a few buffs, we got a lot of system adjustments. The DRX skins are finally out. I feel like they're out a little bit later than usual.
I don't remember how long, I feel like they always take forever to come out. But,
I thought,
you know what's notably not on this list, and it has nothing to do with the DRX skins, I just want to touch on it while you said systems. Ginsu's Rageblade. And I was just having this conversation with Purple, literally 5 to 10 minutes ago, on how we both think that item has way too much penetration on it. And I can't imagine, like, that is single-handedly why Kog'Maw is so fucking OP. Because you get so much mixed damage, and you're getting 6% magic pen and 5% armor pen. And one of the reasons for the Kraken Slayer changes, just as a quick little aside, is that ADCs deal too much mixed damage, and so they turn Kraken Slayer into physical is really the difference. Spoiler alert, sorry. But they didn't touch Ginsu's with how much penetration you're getting and how much mixed damage you get out of that. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but I'm calling for it now. You need to fucking nerf the mythic passive on that. But back to the DRX skins.
yeah, they look okay.
Aatrox is cool.
Yeah, this is the first year they have a prestige
That's kind of lame to
team
me.
skin. It definitely looks cooler than the base one.
Yeah.
But man, it's a money sucker.
Yeah.
But apparently Riot needs all the money they can get because they're broke.
Pool Party Ari.
Pool Party Aatrox prestige. But yeah, we're just gonna get right into it, guys. Again, we're not gonna go over the rel. We went over the rel. Go back and listen to our episode, or come to the patch notes itself and read it. Pretty excited. You gonna be playing some rel?
Possibly, dude.
I want to play some jungle rel, baby.
Some Drell.
No.
Play Drell. J-R-E-L-L. Drell. That's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna take a minute for people to figure out how to play this champion correctly, unless they've played her in PBE, which I hate when people do that shit. But whatever. I think she's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, the question is, am I going to play her? I don't know. Actually, Steven's pretty good at rel, so I would be curious what he thinks about these changes and how his playstyle might change. I don't think her total playstyle changes completely, if that makes sense. I think it embraces what her intended playstyle was.
No, definitely. I agree with that one. So we can skip over that and we can start with Akali.
Yeah.
And this is something you sent to me earlier.
Yeah,
and
I got not even 2 minutes into these patch notes, and I facepalmed, and I almost just closed them and just was like, oh my fucking god. But go ahead and highlight it on your screen, Dean, so everyone can see.
Yeah,
it.
I got it. I was actually going to zoom in too.
Yeah,
Let me,
zoom in though.
hit shift and zoom in. Akali Q-base damage decreased. Well, let me zoom back out. Magic damage 5-point strike. It says 30 to 130 plus 65 AD plus 60% AP is now 40 to 140 plus 65 AD plus 60% AP. Weird. That doesn't seem like a nerf.
Yeah, the reasoning here too says Akali is currently struggling to pull off her cool ninja shenanigans in both solo queue and pro play, so they're gonna decrease her. Excuse me, hello? She's under the buff section of your fucking graphic. Did anybody read what you wrote? Hello?
You know what? I'm just over it. I'm just accepting that they don't do it, and
Someone needs to help out Riru. Why is he?
I know.
Why is he the only one who's doing this? It's always been two people in the past. Riot, get your shit together, please.
One day.
One day.
One day they'll get it.
It'll be
All
next
right.
season when they got a new patch writer, right? Next up on the list is the Mummy. W damage decreased. So Despair base damage per tick, which is every half second, was 10. It's now 7. This is going to slow him down in the jungle considerably, considering it's like one of the first abilities you take just to deal the extra true damage, right? So dropping that down actually is... It doesn't seem like a whole lot. It's just intended to slow him down in the jungle, I believe.
This is just annoying. It feels like Amumu is a balancing nightmare. It's every other patch he's getting changes.
Right. Well, ever since they
I
gave
don't
him
know.
2 Qs, he grew exponentially in popularity, right? And then they threw themselves into this balancing nightmare that you're talking about.
It's just dumb.
Yep. It's at least it's not as bad as Zeri or Rise, but I'm tired of seeing the move on every patch.
I haven't seen him too many times in my games.
No, but it's weird. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to play a Mumu well, right? But like, someone who's good can make him shine, and like really like, I mean, I've seen people coming out 4-0 to start the game as a Mumu pretty early on, just because the bandage toss is so strong when you have both charges up. And then you see other people that are like 0-7 at 15 minutes. Like, what the fuck happened?
Right.
And it to me, it's unexplainable because it's not into any particular team comp or anything. It's just like, can you suck that hard on a Mumu? I guess you can. So, anyways.
They're out there.
Yeah, right?
Moving on to Aphelios, passive bonus AD decrease. This was the other champion for pro play that was getting very high priority.
Yes.
The passive, the Hitman and the Seer. The bonus attack speed, the bonus attack damage was 5 to 30. Now it is 4.5 to 27.
Okay.
Of course, this is what you get for leveling up instead of abilities.
Right.
Okay, so 3 AD at level. I think you maxed his attack damage first.
Yeah, I think
so
it's the Q.
level-
I say that with quotes.
Yeah, yeah. Level 9, you'll have 3 less AD,
That's
which
not
is
too
not
bad.
that big of a deal.
No. All right, next on the list, he got 2 changes. Not only on Summoner's Rift, but he also got ARAM changes, which are important. If you've ever played against Aurelion Sol on ARAM, you realize just how broken that champion is on ARAM, because he had no nerfs, does too much damage. So I think on ARAM he got damage nerfs. But on Summoner's Rift here, it says here his E mana cost is increased, his magic damage AP ratio is decreased. So the Singularity mana cost was 60 to 100 based on rank. It's now 80 to 100, so a lot more earlier, which is when he struggles to have mana. And then the magic damage per tick, which is every quarter second. I like that they're including the tick timer. They don't usually do that, so that's kind of nice. It was 2.5 to 7.5 plus 6.25% AP. That AP ratio is just going down to 5% AP. So not huge, but a little bit to slow him down and slow down his scaling. I think that's important.
This is 100% his most frustrating thing. I went down and peeked at the ARAM. He's getting minus 20 ability haste
Yes,
on ARAM.
They need to do that. He is so fucking broken on ARAM. It's disgusting to play against. So
Yeah, just
I know
insta-fucking-
Dean hates ARAM balances, but I think they're important.
It's dumb.
But some of them are too dumb though. Like, just speaking of, I know Ash got some ARAM buffs, but like, it's still dumb. It's still fucking dumb. So, anyways,
Cool. Yeah, so I still think Aurelion Sol is really OP.
Yes.
Shouldn't do much. Azir Q cooldown decreased, W summon range increased, AP ratio increased. Okay. Conquering Sands, his Q cooldown was 14 to 6 seconds. Now it is 12 to 6 seconds.
okay.
And then W Arise summon range was 500. Now it's 525. And the magic damage was 0 to 92 based on level, plus 50 to 118 plus 55% AP ratio. The base 0 to 92 is staying the same, and then the as you level it up, the 50 to 118 is staying the same, but then the AP ratio is increasing by 5%. That is everything.
I was gonna say 5% is everything.
It feels weird. They're like ping ponging because like a 0 is like always in the meta, and then it just gets kind of boring. Like I remember when it was like Azir and Corki just every fucking game in pro play.
Yeah, it was very boring.
I mean, I like Azir because there's a little bit more like you could do some sick ass plays.
Oh, for sure.
With like your QEW or whatever, or your WQE, and you Shurima shuffle
Right.
all over their faces, and I like seeing it in pro. So
No, he's definitely like a very high skill camp. Skill camp. Wow, let me try again. He's a very high skill cap champion. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying cap and champion together, but he's going to skill camp. If you if you want to play his here, you better go to skill camp because someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, i.e., this guy right here, like I know what I'm doing, but I just don't have the mechanical prowess to do it. Azir is awful. But for someone who knows what the fuck they're doing, this champion's OP even when he's nerfed, and that's kind of like the thing, right? It's like old school Riven. Like if you don't know what you're doing with Riven, I'm talking 5, 6, 7 seasons ago, when she was extremely broken all the time and a balancing nightmare. If you didn't know what you're doing, you're worthless. But if you knew what you were doing, you're unstoppable, and it's fucking ridiculous. That's why Box got popular, right? Similar idea with Azir here, so that's my point.
now
okay.
I know we already did Iron, but
Yeah.
there's just a few things that I had peeked at that I definitely don't think were on when we looked at it previously.
Yeah, no, go for it. Because this is more important.
The root collar, Ivern can now recast Q to jump directly to the target. So I don't know if that brings him into melee range. Like obviously, because before it would pull you into your auto attack range. Because it says Ivern can now recast Q to jump directly to the target, while Ivern and allies can issue an attack command to move to their auto attack range's distance away from the target.
Okay.
So he's being able to get sucked in
He can
quicker.
jump right on top. So if he taps Q again, he jumps right on top of them. If he just auto attacks, he just moves into range.
Okay. And then the other thing, it says Q cooldown is now reduced by 50% when using on a non-epic monster.
Okay.
So he can, use your Q. Obviously, you can't damage jungle creeps, but you use that Q to be like Spider-Man and get around really quickly.
Right. So I think what makes the first part important is it helps him traverse the jungle, right? If he wants to Q and hit blue buff and then just Q to the blue buff, he'll be able to move over walls that he couldn't previously do.
Right, because
so.
his auto attack range might be further away than
Right.
the distance going over the wall.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that's the point of that.
The other one, Brushmaker's passive bonus damage on hit when exiting the brush for 3 seconds now applies to ally champions. Because I think prior, did allies get it prior? Or did
yes, I think
for some reason because it's like
I think so.
For some reason how I'm remembering it is you had to just stand in the brush and the moment you step out you lose that extra on hit. But now
Oh yeah, okay. Allies didn't get that part. Okay, that's right.
right. So now you have 3 seconds for the next 3 seconds outside of the brush. You get the extra on hit.
Yes, you were right. That makes sense.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The brush spawn vision duration was 3 seconds. Now it's 8 seconds.
Wow.
So that's actually insane. I can't remember. I don't need to look it up, but I remember the range for him casting these brushes is pretty far. So use this ability to check non-warded brushes.
Yes.
And you have vision for 8 seconds.
Yes, and brush your hair.
Insane.
Oh.
And then the brush duration was 30 seconds up to a max. Now it's up to a maximum of 45 seconds or until your team loses vision inside of them. I know this was something we couldn't figure out. We had different opinions on what this meant.
So I'm pretty sure as long as you have a ward in that, it's gonna stick around. But
It'll stay as long as you have vision inside the brush.
right.
So whether that be a ward or someone standing. Okay,
Sure.
cool.
I think that also counts because I believe the vision. So if you have like a ward in a bush, you get like full vision of that bush. I think if you add a brush to that bush, you continue that vision line through that area because I believe that's how that works.
Oh, that'd be interesting to test.
Yeah,
so you could connect like how many, like 3 brushes together, and if that carries the vision.
Well, I don't know. I assume it has to be in range of the ward, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I think that's how that would work. I mean, obviously you can put vision in a brush, and if it doesn't see around the corner of the brush or whatever, you're not going to get that vision anyways. So, but I think like in a straight line or as long as it's in sight of where the ward would be, I think that is considered vision inside the brush. So, We would have to test
And
that
then
to be certain.
I'll play some Ivern. We need to get Christian back on. Play some
I
Ivern.
know, right?
And then finally for Daisy, Daisy health regen she didn't have health regen. Now she has health regen, 2.5 health per second. So she's regenning health.
That's nice.
And then I think the bonus movement speed, yada yada yada. The attack speed was 30 to 70. Now it's 30 to 60. Obviously, they got to take away a little bit of power. And then the slam was 100% of Daisy's 80 plus 20% AP ratio. Now it's scaling 40 to 80 plus 100% of Daisy's 80 ratio. So it's a little bit nerfed.
Right.
But man, she's gonna be a little bit tankier.
You know what's...
She's gonna be able to stay in the what? Go ahead.
No. Keep finishing your thought. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No. It's I'm always down for like she has health regen like Annie, like Tibbers doesn't have that.
No, he doesn't.
Right?
No, neither does the maiden.
OP. No.
Well,
unless you recall.
I'm sorry.
Unless you recall.
Right.
Does Annie?
I don't.
Does Tibbers regen health on base?
No, I don't think so. Well, Tibbers has a limited time he's out too, though. Doesn't
Daisy have a? Yeah, Maiden's forever.
Yeah, Maiden's as long
dies.
as she dies, right? So I think that's why might be a difference there. What's not mentioned here, which we did mention in our video, is that Daisy, according to PBE and everything they had posted, is supposed to slam when you summon her.
Oh, that's not noted here.
That's not noted here at all. So I don't know if they got rid of that or if they just forgot to note it, because with all the syntax errors they make all the time, it's something they totally could have forgotten to note.
Because that was a
very big difference, a very big quality of life difference. It's like you summon Daisy to knock somebody up. Like, that makes fucking sense, right? That's like summoning Tibbers to stun. Like, that's the point.
Especially with his Q.
Right.
Well, hold on, that was when used on non-epic. Okay, the Q only happens on non-epic monsters, so I don't know if that applies to champions. It's because it says used on non-epic monsters.
Oh, you're talking about the dash or whatever?
For the root caller, because I was like under the impression, I'm like, oh shit, if he can Q and then lands directly on top of a champion, then summons Daisy, then Daisy slams down. But
well, you can land directly. It's only you reduce the cooldown by 50% when used on non-epic monsters. I think everything else you're
right.
fine.
Okay, I'm drunk. Okay,
no, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah, sometimes I've done it too, where I catch a phrase and I'm like, yeah, that applies to. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. So yeah, I'm not sure if she's going to slam. That'll be something we'll have to test, or when we get into game after the patch drops, we'll have to read the tooltip and see if that's included. It may be included, and they may have just forgotten to add it here. So something to note. But I don't have anything else for Ivern unless you do.
No, tell me about the biggest nerf on the patch, though.
Purple's gonna love this one. Jinx, attack speed growth decreased. Attack speed growth was 1.36. It's now just 1.
Right. Why? That literally does nothing.
She's losing. I don't know what the difference of that is. I don't know. Is it 36%? Is it that easy, Matt? I don't feel like that's not right.
36%? That's no way.
Or 3.6%? I'm not sure if that's right.
Is it point you do you just
I don't know how the attack speed growth really factors into each champion's thing, but I know that the reason they're doing it is just to kill some of her DPS on her rockets. It's not really for anything else, because her rockets, like when she gets excited and she's firing rockets and just shredding your team, it's disgusting. So it's not a huge nerf. It's minimal at best, and I think they want to keep her in the meta, but they want to just bring her power down a little bit. But who knows, dude? Sometimes when I think these like 5 AD nerfs here and there are so small, and all of a sudden it catapults the champion to top pick, especially in pro, and you got to sit there and wonder what the fuck happened. So, Yep. All
right, moving on to Callista.
It's the
got a fair amount of changes here. So base stats. Base health was 574, now it's 600. Health regen was 3.75, now it's 4. Health regeneration growth was 0.55, now it's 0.75. Attack damage was 66, now it's only 61. Attack damage growth was 3.75, now it's 3.25. Okay. So we're trading out damage for a little bit of extra health regen. Passive martial poise, excuse me. You can run, but you can't hide. Callista's basic attacks no longer miss if a target leaves vision. I had no idea that was a thing. And then damage dealt on hit, 90% of her total AD. Now it's 100% of her total AD. Also had no idea that was a thing. I don't play Callista. I'm not good at Callista.
I'm awful using a martial pose.
Therefore, I'm never playing Callista. But okay, so I guess her auto attacks did less damage for some reason.
That is weird.
And then Q Pierce was 20 to 280 plus 100 AD. Now it is 20 to 280 plus 105% AD. Okay, small buff.
Okay.
And then the Rend E cooldown was 14 to 8. Now it's just 8 at all seconds. Wow. And then physical damage per stack was 10 to 34 plus 23.2 to 40.6 AD plus a 20% AP ratio. The base is going down 8 to 24. The AD scaling is going up 25 to 45, and then the AP 25 to 45% AD, and then the 20% AP is remaining. So we're ditching a little bit of AD, base AD and base growth, AD growth for a little extra damage on her abilities. The Ren change is nuts.
Yes.
Because I think people would max this first. I'm not sure if you're gonna max this because I mean obviously it resets. The cooldown resets or refreshes if you kill the target with the Ren.
Right.
But man, 8 seconds at all ranks feels like I don't need to max a second now.
No, you probably go for your Pierce. It just gives you an extra. It's not really an auto attack reset, but basically gives you an extra auto attack to use your martial poise on. So
interesting.
If martial poise is getting a buff, and Rend is getting a buff to cooldown, then you can feasibly, I'm thinking, max your Q, which also got a buff, instead of your E, to use more martial poise and maximize that extra 10% damage you're getting back. If that makes any sense, it sounds hella roundabout, but I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. So we have Rek'Sai next on the list. She's actually got quite a bit here. I haven't seen this champion in a while. She was really gross.
Yeah.
With Prowler's
I was
Claw,
going to say that. I have not seen a Rek'Sai in a hot minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while too. But I know she was pretty gross with Prowler's Claw. It just made her really fucking strong and an assassin, basically, which she shouldn't really be. She's more of a bruiser type, I would think. But let's see here. What are we doing? So it says Rek'Sai was one of the non-assassin champions that was bound to the old Prowler's Claw and took a big hit in power with its removal. We're taking this opportunity to shift Rek'Sai away from assassin burst builds, which her kit was never really made to support, and move her strengths toward a more durable fighter with a chunkier passive heal and better feeling auto attacks. We're also including a few small quality of life buffs that should make playing the Queen feel a bit more royal. So, yes, they are saying exactly what I was saying. She shouldn't have been an assassin. So passive, Fury of the Xerxai. Okay, Xerxes. Tremor Sense refresh rate was 1.5 seconds. It's now 1 second. Heal with...
Awesome.
I know, right? Heal with Max Fury was 20 to 190 based on level. It is now, get ready for it, 15 plus 20 for every 3 levels, plus 2% max HP for every 3 levels. So
man,
figure that shit out. I'm not figuring it out for you. This is dumb.
That's just telling me tank Rek'Sai is...
Yeah. Q, Queen's Wrath, the unburrowed version. Cooldown, 4 seconds at all levels, is now changing to 4 to 2 seconds based on rank.
Holy shit.
I don't know why they included based on rank. Like, we assumed that, right? Buff duration was 5 seconds. It's now 3 seconds.
Okay.
Hit and buff. Basic attacks now refresh the buff duration of Queen's Wrath, however. So it's 4 to 3 seconds, but you're going to refresh that. So that's actually pretty good. Q's buff no longer ends prematurely if Rek'Sai is burrowed for more than 1.5 seconds. Okay. The Queen's Wrath burrowed. Reveal duration was 2.5 seconds. It's now 5 seconds. So you land that, and it's 5 seconds. I thought Queen's Wrath, the Q, right? I thought that was Prey Seeker. when she's burrowed, isn't it?
Let's take a look. I think you might be right. Rek'Sai.
That's why I'm confused on what the
Lulwick.
fuck they're saying here.
Hey, I think you're right. Let me see.
Oh, you know what? I have
Burrowed.
the. I have
No,
the
you're
thing open.
absolutely right. It's called Prey Seeker.
Okay, that's what I'm like. I'm feeling confused. So okay, I don't know why they would put burrowed and that doesn't actually make any fucking sense now. But okay. I know there is a reveal on Prey Seeker, so instead of it being 2.5 seconds, 5 seconds, that's pretty fucking long actually.
That's big.
So doubling that. And then the W Unburrow quality of life update. Targeted range increased to match untargeted range. Note, this will mean that the optimization where it was better to line Rek'Sai up to the edge of your knockup and press W at the perfect time instead of just clicking on the opponent has been removed. Okay, so you just unburrow. I didn't know that was a thing, so clearly I don't play Rek'Sai. Interesting changes. I think people will lean into the fighter and not too much into the bruiser, even though you have reason to go with that maximum HP, but I don't think that's enough. I think that's enough to take a dip in some HP items, right? Like
I'd be down
like
to
a
go like
cleaver.
Triforce.
Right.
Go with Triforce. Yeah, Clock Cleaver. Maybe could even get spicier and go Sunderer.
Sure. And I think, but you're not going to be looking to build health necessarily like a bruiser. You're looking at more of like a Aatrox kind of build, I think, from what I'm getting from this.
Oh, you mean your favorite item in the game?
I don't know that you go Eclipse, but
It would probably be really good on her.
it probably is. It's the sad part, and I feel like that's probably not a terrible way to go if you still wanted to go more assassin-y. But like Aatrox building, first off, why is Eclipse considered an assassin item? Let's remove that designation because it's not. But yeah, just think of like the way Aatrox builds, right? He's gonna have a lot of raw health and raw damage, and I think that's the same way you're gonna see Rek'Sai build.
Also, before we move on, I just want to state I feel like I say this every time we talk about Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, right, switch her alt name with Kha'Zix's alt name. Because
What's her alt name again?
Void Rush,
Oh yeah.
and that made sense with the original
Yes.
Rek'Sai alt.
Yes.
So, but now, and the other thing I was gonna say about the Q, the vision, because you need to hit a target with an ability to be able to alt, do your jump through the air.
Right.
So now you can get. I can't remember how big the range is, but they're revealed for 2.5 more seconds, so you have more time to alt at them.
Oh, that's true.
So, okay, so yeah, it's called
Assault
Void
makes
Rush,
more sense.
and Kha'Zix is called Void Assault.
Yeah.
It literally needs to be switched because Kha'Zix goes invisible and he gets movement speed. That sounds like a Void Rush.
Right.
And then Void Assault, Rek'Sai flies through the air and assaults. It's dumb. Just switch him. Please switch him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay. I mean, I understand. Yeah, no, Void Rush makes more sense, especially when he goes invisible and gets to, like, run hella quick. So, yeah, he's rushing at you using his Void powers. Weird. But, all right. Bring us down to... Is he a Gator or a Croc? I don't remember. We discerned this.
It's Croc.
Yeah, he's a Croc.
It's Croc.
It's Croc, that's right.
Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. So, Slice and Dice cooldown was 18 to 14. Now it's 16 to 12. Okay, 2 seconds.
Yep.
And then our Dominus cooldown was 120 seconds at all ranks. Now it scales down 120 to 80. And the magic damage per tick every half second was 25 to 75. Now it's 30 to 90. I believe recently, too, they added... It does deal magic damage, but I do believe they added an AD ratio onto that because it never made sense. It's like...
Right.
Renekton's a full-on AD champion.
Yeah, I think that was...
I'm
was that last patch?
just double-checking.
Somewhat recently, I believe, yeah.
So it does do 5% bonus AD scaling.
Yep.
Does it tell me where the fuck is it? Whatever.
I think
it was recent, though.
I think the only reason it ever did magic damage was because you would build Bork. And not that Bork gives you AP, but it also does magic damage, so I think it actually scaled his damage a little bit harder. But if you make it AD, it means he has to actually build penetration to get through champions who have armor. So not that it ever did a whole lot of magic damage anyways, but like I think that was just kind of the general idea, is give him something else to use so he's not totally fucked by armor. But sometimes he needs to just be fucked by it, you know? The dude's strong as fuck, so. Okay. Twisted Fate, here we are, I'm sorry. W cooldown decreased, no longer decreases with rank. Okay. So there was plenty of times where you would max W, one, because it scales with the base damages, right? But also for the cooldown. So it was 8 to 6 seconds, but now it's just 6 seconds in all ranks. So I think you're going to see a lot of Q maxes.
I think whenever I play Twisted Fate, I always max Q.
There's times I think it's matchup dependent, personally.
I always just am like, okay, well the Q does full damage to all targets it goes through, and it's like, all right, let's just max as much fucking damage out of that as too. But I think maybe, I mean, if maybe this is the change for on hit TF for attack speed TF.
Could be.
So you don't even fucking touch your Q when you're going Rage Blade, Bork, whatever.
You just do it as a poke ability. I mean, it's not really like
it does no
yeah, it doesn't
damage.
do anything really, but like you just have like something to help clear a wave a little bit. But let me see. I know you might you probably still want to max W just because the mana restored on the blue card is huge. I mean, it goes from 50 to 150. 50 mana if you leave that shit is like nothing. Good.
How much does the blue card cost?
It costs 30 to 70.
Okay, yeah, I probably wouldn't max it still, second or first. I don't think it's needed.
The slow scales up, and so does the stun duration. The stun duration does scale up to 2 seconds. But
pretty positive this has to do with AD Twisted Fate.
Probably.
That makes sense. We got our asses eaten. Or maybe I did. I was playing a game. I got my ass eaten by a on-hit Twisted Fate.
It was not fun. It can only be on-hit, too, because crit doesn't even work with pick a card, so...
Sure.
All right. Okay. Items, or systems, as they call it. Ooh.
Items. So Ardent Sensor, get an adjustment. Bonus attack speed was 15 to 30 based on target's level. Now it's a flat 20%.
Yep.
Okay. I guess they think it was a little too OP.
Well, yeah, because no one was building staff. They're all building Ardent Sensors, so... Or you'd build Ardent first if you were going to build staff. Then it's like... staff became such secondary that they wanted to bring this down, I think. So... Dustblade of Drakthar. They're changing everything on it except for the one fucking thing I don't like about it. Night Stalker bonus ability damage was 0 to 15% based on target's missing health. It's now 0 to 20%. The maximum bonus damage health threshold was 20% remaining health. It's now 30% remaining health. So you'll be able to do more damage earlier. Still fucking annoying because the untargetability of Dustblade is actually worse than the invisibility that it gave you. So,
you know what? I haven't had that many issues with it.
I fucking hate it.
I don't think it's that terrible.
I hate it.
A 10-second. You can kill them after that 1.5 seconds of untargetability because then they can't. I think it's
right.
It's not terrible.
This is the reason I hate it. Is it offers way more safety than the invisibility did. Right. The invisibility, which it wasn't very long. Don't get me wrong. It's not very long, but you can't even land a Morgana Q on a quote unquote untargetable champion. It operates like Fizz E, like Playful Trickster. So it's not untargetability in the sense of you just can't point and click, but you can land like Senna's untargetability, right? Like you could still land a skill shot on Senna. This more operates like Vladimir or Fizz, where you can't hit them with anything until they pop back up. Like they're technically not on the map per se. And that's the part that's most fucking frustrating, is like there is no counterplay. You just have to wait it out, and I fucking hate that. So
I guess I haven't. Every time I play, well, it's mainly been in ARAMs, but I don't think I've had too big of issues with it.
I fucking hate it because like even if you're playing, I'll use Morgana again for example, like with an AOE like the Puddle, you can't even get any damage or apply Leandries, where if they were invisible you still could. So I think it offers too much safety. Like give me the invisibility back, get rid of the untargetability, I'm fine.
No, I do. Listen, I do not want Dustblade Master Yi with invisibility every 1 second. No, thank you.
Yeah, but
I would take.
But if it's
untargetable,
you can't even stop him.
Yeah, but he can't become untargetable again for another 10 seconds.
That's true.
That's because I remember when Dustblade first came out, we were just seeing videos of Yi like alpha striking, getting the kill, invisible, and then another target would just die.
Yeah.
And it was just like perma invisibility.
Deke into a bush with the invisibility, then just pop out and assassinate the next person. Master Yi is an interesting case because I feel more and more that they want him to be an assassin, even though they keep fucking with his crit and on hit shit for no reason. Like, just you keep building items for him to be an assassin. Just let him be the assassin you want him to be, I guess. I don't fucking know. Bring us down to the next item, which I actually like this item a lot, so I'm sad to see it nerf.
Echoes of Helia. This literally just drop kicked Moonstone out of the way because it was really OP. The passive healing per shard was 20 to 100 levels 1 through 18. Now it's 20 to 80 levels 6 through 18. Right. Okay, so it's wow. Okay, so it's even a little bit of a bigger nerf.
Yeah.
And then I guess they're assuming the support's not going to be able to buy this item until they probably won't have a support item until post level 6.
Sure, but yeah, you're starting that scaling so much later. I mean, 20 to 100 is scaling, or 20 to 1. 20 to 100. What is that like? Is that like 5 a level almost? It's probably a little bit different than that, but 20 to 80, starting at level 6, it starts scaling from 20 up. Is much like that's delaying that by so much that this item might be over nerfed to just try to allow for Moonstone, which I think fucking sucks, by the way, anyways. Like, I don't like the new Moonstone at all.
So that was the healing, and then the damage was 30 to 200 levels 1 through 18. It's getting the same treatment. It is 30 to 180 levels 6 through 18. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal because, again, I don't think the support's probably not getting this item, or unless this is
So hear me out, right? Levels 1 through 6, that 20 to 100 is already scaling, right? So at level 6, that 20 to 100 is probably like 40 to 100 at that point, right? At level 6, you're probably at 40.
But you're not getting the item at any of those points.
Sure, but I want to see the fucking chart. Is there a chart here? I would love to see let me see if I can find a chart.
Or the other thing I'm trying to think was to envision, but right now it's just performing too well, especially the healing. Going forward will be given. I'm thinking of like solo lane champions taking this and getting it earlier,
right?
Because then they might be able to, because items so cheap. Sure.
Okay, so here's how it's going to scale based on your allies level, right? So at levels 1 through 6, it does 20. At level 7 is 25, and then it's 5 per level all the way till 80. There's no way to see a fucking cached version of this. But if we did, let's see, it's 180 divided by, so you would have been getting 10 per level. So let's see, it would have been 20, 30. So level 1, 20, level 30, or level 2, 30, level 3, 40. Yeah, you would have got a lot. You would get a lot more a lot earlier. Like, this is really delaying the scaling. So you don't start catching up until probably about level 14, 15. So it is actually a pretty big nerf.
Okay. I know they're buffing Moonstone, so we'll see what that says.
Yeah, it might be enough to push out Echoes, because, like, it's not a whole lot of damage. Like, the weird thing about this is, like, they're telling you that they want it to be an offensive item, but it, like, doesn't do a whole lot of damage to consider it that offensive. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I feel like it's kind of like non-interactive offensive, because all you need to do is shield, right? And
yeah,
it just randomly does damage,
right? And it does, like, 180. Really, 200 is not a whole lot of damage, especially because it's going to be mitigated. Someone's going to have MR that's going to fucking bring that down to just dealing 100 damage. So that's like less than your champion's auto attack. So, like, it's not really fucking doing much. And it's almost equivalent to, like, an Aerie. Like, okay, so if you really want it to be an offensive item, put it somewhere on the scale of, like, what Mandate did, and then bring it down a little bit and bring healing into it. I feel like it's just not on the same scale, personally. So,
all right,
I don't like it, but it is what it is. Next on the list is Gale Force. Despite popular opinion heading into the patch, it turns out Gale Force is indeed strong, even with the opportunity cost of Infinity Edge and Evora Quick Blades. We're walking back some of the preemptive buffs that got heading into 1310, specifically targeting its strongest synergies in Yasuo and Yone, where the
Yeah,
item far
dude.
exceeds other options. So, what they're changing is the damage based on critical strike chance. So it was 250% crit chance. It's now 200% crit chance of what you're scaling off of. And the maximum execution damage was 160%. It's now 150%. So they're lowering how much execute damage you can actually do, and then they're putting a cap on it as well. So
Yeah, it made sense. I remember playing a game and we were like, why is the Yasuo building Gale Force? Well, it seems
he gets an extra
the fact
dash
that he
and
can get 100
shits on your britches.
he can get that thing fucking nukes you
yeah.
because they instantly get 100% crit and then 250%.
Yep.
Yeah, it's stupid. But why do I feel like they're gonna give like fucking
Another compensatory buff
buffs.
to the wind
yeah?
shitters.
Fuck that, stupid.
I think this Kraken Slayer
Windwall-
change. Oh, go ahead.
I was like, wind wall is now 1 second cooldown. I don't know.
Windwall, whatever. Fuck you.
All right, yeah, Kraken Slayer.
I like this change.
Basically changing it. Damage type was magic. Now it's physical. And then the damage. I like how it just says change. Is that? I don't know.
I didn't even notice
Change?
that. Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. What is? Hold on. Is that what it's called?
No,
I remember we looked it up last time, and it was a funny fucking name, right?
I think
The
so.
original. Why is it called? Oh, it's called Bring It Down.
Yeah.
It's called Bring It Down. Okay. Well, I don't know why this
Bad
has changed.
name.
Okay.
Tough it out and bring it down, dude. Okay.
This is the third hit. You know, so it was 20 plus 60% AD plus 45% AP. Now it's 35 to 85 levels 8 through 18, and has 65% AD and 60% AP. So it's actually a pretty good buff.
Yeah.
Looking fat.
Now, the part of the reasoning is that more champions will have more armor than they will MR, and I think they're right. I do agree with that point. So it's okay to buff the physical damage while recognizing that like you're turning it to physical damage and not to magic damage. So it's not quite the buff that it may seem, but it's still a buff.
It's like they say it right here, but like champions that are building Rageblade that are on hit now, like Kog'Maw does a lot of magic damage, but that proc is going to be physical.
Yes.
It's going to hit.
Yes.
That's pretty OP.
And back to what I was saying about Ginsu's giving way too much magic pen and armor pen.
Has not even been touched. No
Nope.
touched. No touchy.
5 how much armor penetration do you get from a completed Last Whisper item? Is it 40?
It's not 20.
Is it 30 or 40%?
Oh, 30. I think hold on. Like Lord Doms.
Yeah. Cuz I think it's the same for both of those now.
It's 30%.
Okay. So you can complete 3 items, not including this one, so 4 total items, and you have half of a Lord Doms. Add a Lord Doms, all of a sudden you're at fucking 45%. You know what I mean? You get 50% basically armor pen, and then you have 24% magic pen, and if you're Ginsu's does on hit magic, like what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing?
Side note, because I remember we talked about it in the Discord, because originally Kog'Maw was scheduled to get some nerfs.
Yes.
But they got rid of it.
Yes.
Then I found out today they're releasing a new Kog'Maw skin.
Oh, that's why they waited.
So that why they have the is it Shanghai Scrolls or whatever?
Okay.
I don't know if you saw them yet, but it's that skin line. They look sick.
I like that skin line.
Yeah, Kog'Maw
That's
skin line looks sick.
that's the Cho'Gath who kind of looks like a Kabuki mask, right?
Yeah, the Jin one,
Yeah.
and then I think Nautilus.
Jin
or
one's
whatever.
good too. Jin fits with the Kabuki. Yeah. All right. Moonstone Renewer. This item that we were talking about that I'm not really a big fan of at the moment. Let's see. So the chain heal is getting buffed. It was 20 to 35% based on allies level. It's now 20 to 40%. And the single heal is getting buffed also by 5%. It was 15 to 25. It's now 15 to 30%. So, slight buff to the nerf, which I think is bigger than they make it seem on Echoes, means you're probably going to see more Yumis.
Oh, no thanks.
I know. And even then, Yumi still might build Shirelia's over this item. So that move speed on Shirelia's is fucking disgusting and kind of worth it. So
Moving on to Navori Quick Blades. The item recipe is actually changing. It was Caulfield's Pickaxe, Cloak of Agility, plus 825 gold. Now it's Caulfield's BF Sword and Cloak of Agility, plus 400 gold. Attack damage going up by 5 from 60 to 65. The ability haste is dropping from 20 to 15. But the Transcendence cooldown reduction, the refund you get per auto attack, was 12%. Now it's 15%. And then the mythic passive was 5 ability haste. Now it's 5 attack damage.
Bring back Lucian, baby.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. I kind of butthurt at the... Obviously, I like BF Sword. It's just so fucking expensive. And, like, if you just get, like...
Yeah.
If you have your Caulfields and you have the cloak, but you have, like, 100 gold on base, or 1,000 gold on base, you're like, fuck, I can't buy my goddamn BF Sword. Like, kind of delays it. Obviously, it's the same gold, but, like, it's frustrating.
Sure,
it's
no, you end up buying random shit because you don't have enough to fucking buy it. You're like, I have 1,000 gold. I need to spend it on something. Otherwise, it's an inefficient base. And, like, you don't really want to spend it on something you're going to have to sell later if you can prevent that. So it does feel bad. Like, it puts you in a position, but they are giving the item, I mean, more damage. It's going to scale more damage, so it's not the worst thing. Like, it is a bit of a trade-off, right?
Right.
So, Runan's Hurricane. On hit damage was 30. It's now 15. So, I don't know.
This shit has been OP on, like, Kog'Maw's just gross right now.
Yeah, as I say, Kog'Maw. There's not a whole lot of champions besides Kog'Maw that are really building it at the moment, I don't think. But it's...
Maybe, I think item. Jinx, but Jinx doesn't use too much...
Right.
Does her rockets count as on hit?
Her rockets will proc it, for sure. But even then, she was building a lot of rapid fire cannon instead, just because she wanted the extra range to try to see... The whole thing with Jinx is, like, you're kind of poking from the back line with your rockets, and then if you can get a kill to get excited, and then Jinx really starts popping off. Like, that's kind of where her niche is at the moment. So, in the past, when that wasn't the case, like, you would just build Runans and just insta-clear a wave, or insta-clear a team fight with Jinx. So, maybe she builds it now, but I think she still wants to go RFC if she can. So... Who else is using this item though? Otherwise, like,
good question.
I mean, Kog'Maw. Zaya's not using it. Yeah, Zaya's not using it. I can't think of anybody else that's. I don't know. That's kind of shitty, right? Actually. So.
Well.
Okay. Give us the bait
Static
item.
Static Shiv. Energized damage was 60 to 170, levels 7 through 18, plus 50% AP. Now it's 80 to 190,
right?
Levels 7 through 18,
okay.
Still with the 50% AP ratio. And then the damage to minions modifier was 220%. Now it's 250%.
Okay.
So I was seeing, this is kind of unrelated to this, but I was seeing some crazy shit.
Veigar?
Well, yeah, okay. The Veigar thing it's kind of troll. I think it's only an ARAM thing once you only get like 1,000 AP.
Right.
But I was seeing, in particular, Twisted Fate and Gangplank. If you have Static Shiv, and if it is strong enough to one-shot a wave, if you queue a minion as Gangplank, and that Static Shiv kills the whole wave, he gets all his plunder gold.
Oh, he gets all the serpents? Gold. That's cool.
Yeah. Same thing with TF on the loaded, is it loaded dice? His passive?
Yeah.
He gets gold?
Yep.
Same thing. I'm like, okay. So I'm about to be playing some AP Gangplank.
Real quick, I did look up what my opinion would be for Runan's users. People we didn't think about. Ashe. Excuse me. Jinx is a possibility. Kindred definitely uses it. Kog'Maw.
I don't think I've ever built Runans on Kindred.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that. That's common. It's not totally uncommon. What is it? Kog'Maw, Sivir, she's kind of one of those.
Oh god, no.
You're not using it on her no more.
Sounds troll. No, what are you on Lollytics?
No, I'm just fucking looking at the marksman champions. Twitch.
Okay.
And Varus and Zeri for sure. So, and Varus I know right now is fucking really strong with Ginsy's builds.
I was saying if
Is Sivir not using it anymore? I don't even fucking know.
I don't think I've ever used it on servers.
I don't even know what the fuck
just because
she builds anymore.
Her W. I'm trying to think of. I wish there was a.
Yeah, you're right. She's going
like,
PD. That's what it is. Instead of that, she's going PD. Okay, that makes sense.
I was trying to see. Yeah, I don't think many champions use Renans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, Kalone used it, but they got rid of that interaction.
Sure.
Zeri uses it.
Zeri was the last one that I said, yeah, because I knew for sure.
Okay, yeah.
And Twitch, too, because Twitch can apply as poison with it, so.
Right. There you go.
That's why it's really big. And Twitch is another one that does a fuck ton of magic damage, so.
I say, side note, Bruiser Zeri is back because Triforce got buffed and people are building Triforce, Titanic, and Hurricane. So,
yeah,
love it.
Yep.
Fucking love it.
We were talking about that, so.
Love it.
Right on. Okay. Stormrazor, another energized item here, came out swinging out of the gate, and it's pretty fucking strong. Very gold efficient. So they're bringing down the AD by 5 from 55 to 50. And it just says change here. I'm assuming this is the energize buff here. It was 25 plus 65% total AD and 50% AP. It's now 15 plus 60% total AD and 50% AP. So they're definitely bringing down some of that damage. Not a whole shit ton, but definitely some of it. So and they are mentioning that it is like a Kai'Sa thing for sure. So they're probably going to buff Kai'Sa in the next patch to still allow it to complete her first upgrade.
Was this item one of the biggest turnarounds in the game?
It went from unusable to like most used.
0 to hero, dude. Like
it was crazy too, because it was a very good first build item from a lot of champions.
I didn't like. I feel like it's just like the simplicity of giving your user movement speed instead of slowing your target.
Yes.
So much better. All right, and the last one, I'll go over both of these because it's more or less the same. Ghostblade was the most OP fucking item in the game. Every champion was building it. I was seeing a lot of it. It is in the gutter now. Ability haste was 20, now it's 15. The bonus lethality at max stacks was 80 to 20 based on level. Now it's 3 to 12. And then the distance per stack was 45. Now it's 55. And it says, note, this equates to roughly 20% slower stacks generating. Okay. Yeah, this item was so fucking gross, dude.
Right.
It is in the dirt. I don't think it's that great anymore. And then Youmuu's Wake, the Ornn item, simply the ability haste dropped by 5 from 25 to 20.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I was abusing Kha'Zix a lot because it was really OP on him.
Yeah.
But Dunzo.
All right. And here's a big change for the game. Buff sharing. We've talked about this a couple times. So Ivern has it, and that no longer makes him unique. Buff sharing here. So, new buff wisps. When a jungler kills red Brambleback or the blue sentinel while their smite is fully upgraded, they will still receive the camp's buff. But in addition, a buff wisp will be dropped at the camp's spawn point. An ally can pick it up by walking within the wisp's radius within 1 minute of the camp dying before it disappears. That's quite a long time. Note, you do not need to smite the camp at any time in order for the buff wisp to drop, but smite must be fully upgraded. So you have to complete your jungling item to activate.
Be able to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
And then the next part, but I'm not the jungler. If a player that's not the jungler kills the red Brambleback or the blue sentinel, but the jungler's smite is fully upgraded, then a buff wisp will still drop, but it will only be visible to the allied jungler. It will still only remain for 1 minute. So very similar to Ivern. Not two champions can have it, but a champion and the jungler can have it. So
yeah, they're literally removing it from Ivern to put it here.
Right.
So it doesn't. I'm assuming it won't say that anymore.
It should not. Correct.
I mean, obviously, I think Ivern had to be level 6 to be able to share buffs.
I think so.
But this is, you got to get your 40 jungle treats done. Get that fully upgraded smite. It's kind of cool.
Interesting. Very interesting. It feels like it takes away the uniqueness of Ivern, though. Like, they did all this stuff for a mid scope, and they do this, and I feel like, well, that takes away from like one of the big reasons you choose Ivern. So why did
Well,
you
to
do
be fair,
Minscope?
no one was picking Ivern even with this.
Sure, but like if you're gonna change him, I would think you would at least give people time to figure out is the change still worth it? You know, for that benefit. I think it's a really good benefit, right? Is the change still worth it for that benefit? And now I feel like I don't know if anyone's still gonna pick Ivern. Truthfully,
I mean, we'll see. I think he'll get picked. I don't think the buff sharing was the end all be all for him.
no, I don't think so. But I think it was a very like a
What
very
I'm
good reason.
annoyed at though is, I mean, obviously depending on what side of the map you're going to be on, ADs are going to be able to are be coming to lane with red buff a
Yeah.
lot sooner probably,
Yep.
or blue buff. Top laners, same thing,
Yep.
or mid laners too.
Or
So that's
that.
crazy though. So there gonna be a lot of buff. I'm trying to think.
Actually,
Is there a scenario where like 4 people on your team can have these buffs?
you'd have to steal the other two from the other team.
What's the
Like-
same?
like
Like
if
if
they
you're in a team
die.
fight, so 2 people, like say your jungler and your mid laner have blue buff, their jungler and mid laner have blue buff, and then my top laner, my AD, kill their mid laner and their jungler. Now there's 4 blue buffs.
Yeah. I will say, you said that they'd be coming to lane with red and blue buff. I don't think they'll be in lane by the time the jungler is completing that jungle item. Usually, by the time that's completed, you're finishing the lane phase. Depending on who you're playing, of course. Obviously, your farming junglers are going to have that completed a lot more quickly than your non-farming junglers. But is this going to change the jungle landscape? Actually, is this going to mean
Maybe.
you're going to see more Master Yi's again?
More hard farmers.
Yeah, you might, because I mean it's a pretty big buff, right? You might see more Kindreds and Yees and I don't know about Shyvanas, dude. That fucking champion just the fuck
We
that
don't know what's
champion.
going on
Yeah, no idea. You might see more Rek'Sai too with the changes, and she can be either a ganker or a clearer. I don't think she has preference one way or the other, right?
Yeah, she's good at both.
Right.
Both the Q is really good for the AOE,
And Warwick, too.
then
You might
yeah,
see more Warwick.
oh, God damn it.
You probably see less Sejuanis and less Zacs, more of these ganking style champions. I mean, not to say that they're not going to be in the game. I think you'll see less of them though.
Have you listened to the most recent dive?
I have not. That was like a 2.5 hour episode.
It was a slobber knocker, but they go over because the episode released before LCS announced they were starting 2
Right.
weeks later,
Right.
but they're talking about all these changes and stuff, and a lot of the support items got buffed, then their price went down. There's a lot of champions jungling, like Kobe was talking about, like Zac just going like tank junglers going full support, like
Yeah.
just building what the fuck is it called, the damage amp one, where you CC and it does increase damage.
Even Shroud?
Yeah, there's like it's so fucking cheap, and you just build that on Zac, and you can jump to the back line, just hit everybody.
Right.
And it's so we might still be able to see that, but I feel like farming junglers might get a little higher priority now.
I think so.
So, but that is it. I'm trying to see if there's any bug changes. I played a few support games, and is Vigilant Wardstone disabled?
I don't know. Actually, I haven't purchased it. I wanted to, but my games haven't gone long enough for me to purchase it.
I know since they changed it, you have to complete your support item.
Right. You have to complete that quest.
You don't have to
right.
wait till level 13.
Right.
But when I go to purchase it after I completed it's just grayed out.
Oh.
So I tried looking this up. It's Vigilant Wardstone, right?
Yes.
Vigilant. Is that the base one or the upgraded one?
Oh, it is disabled.
Okay, there you go.
Dot Esports of 6 days ago. Currently, there's an issue with the Watchful Wardstone and Vigilant Wardstone items in League intended to be bought by support champions, which has resulted in the items being disabled from the game completely.
Oh. Why the fuck isn't that on a
patch
a
note
little
anywhere?
notification? Or anywhere. Yeah.
Literally
Maybe
anywhere.
it was.
Let's see. Numerous players are reported being scammed by the shopkeeper while trying to acquire the item in the latter phase of the game, when numerous items have been purchased. Let's see. So there's a bug. Wardstone purchase, gold lost, didn't receive item, lost control wards, unable to undo purchase. Happened twice in game. So, okay, that's what was happening. So,
It's pretty big.
that's a huge bug. So, that is the bug. And yeah, I wonder if that made it to. Now I want to look at 13.10 patch notes and if that made it to the top. They don't always tell you when shit makes it on there, right? Updates.
So there's a bug fix here. It says fixed a bug that caused Vigilant Wardstone to be able to drop infinite wards.
That ain't the right bug.
I wonder
fix,
if it's
though.
does it come out then? Is it whatever? I don't play support, but there were a few games I was just playing or filling and just wanted to fuck around with it.
Yeah.
But okay. I think that's it. Yeah, we got the DRX skins.
Yeah.
The Kindred one looks sick. Well, Aatrox one, yeah, it's cool.
The Ash one just looks like standard Ash. I don't know. There's really nothing.
It really does. The blue is not helping.
No, it doesn't really. I don't know. It just looks like an Ash skin. Actually, the Caitlyn skin in the splash art looks like she could be Ash.
I love the Maokai sapling
Yeah.
with like sunglasses on.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think the
Really
Akali's
awesome.
good looking too. But yeah, man, I don't. Honestly, that Kindred one kind of looks like fucking Renekton.
The wolf,
Yeah,
the wolf in that looks like
looks like
Gator
Neki.
Boy.
Yep.
Cool.
Other than that, I have nothing else for you guys. We crested an hour, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. This was a lot shorter than the last one, but it was still. You guys are eating good this week, okay? You guys are getting a lot of content.
Yes.
LCS hasn't exploded yet, so we'll be back on Friday for champ review
Yeah, there was no news today. We'll see what happens tomorrow
tomorrow.
when we go to record our review. So, other than
Yep.
that,
But guys, yep. The only thing I gotta say is make sure to like, comment, subscribe, rate, review wherever you are listening or watching right now. Hit that link tree in the bio. Come join the Discord. Hang out with us. We're still looking for people to, like we said in the previous episode, why should you be picked up by an LCS team?
Yeah.
Obviously the scabs aren't happening anymore, but come tell us. And you know, otherwise just come hang out with us and get updates on any other nonsense we're up to. So
right on.
we'll be back tomorrow for champ review. I don't remember who we're doing. I think Yorick is one of them. I can't remember the other one was.
Well, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I
that'll
think
be
Rick is
fun.
on that list for sure. So,
Rick, baby. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow then.
all right, y'all, take it easy, be safe.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Click right here to see the previous episode of the According to Low Elo podcast. Click right here to see the most recent gameplay video. Thanks again.